Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we are plunging headfirst into, well, one of the biggest questions in tech right now. Artificial General Intelligence. AGI.
Yeah, the big one. Is it like just around the corner or is it still science fiction, basically?
Exactly. And the views are all over the place. So we've grabbed a whole stack of your sources, articles, research papers, comments from industry insiders. And we're going to try and unpack these really contrasting views, see what the different camps are saying, and maybe figure out what it means for you.
Sounds good. Let's dive in. Where do we start?
Well, let's start with maybe the more cautious end of the spectrum. Sundar Pichai at Google.
Okay, yeah. Google's CEO. He definitely pumps the brakes a bit, doesn't he?
He does. He calls achieving AGI highly challenging with the hardware we actually have now.
Right. He even talks about hitting potential temporary plateaus, even with all the AI progress we're seeing.
So for him, it's less about this godlike AGI soon and more about useful tools. He calls it an extraordinary AI companion.
Yeah, something to boost productivity. He mentioned using AI himself for that vibe code thing, right?
Yeah.
Like quickly spinning up web pages from descriptions.
Exactly. It's AI as a very smart assistant, not necessarily a thinking peer yet.
And it's not just the hardware holding things back in his view. He points out that current AI still fails in other areas, meaning it's not truly general. He suggests we are quite far from a generalized technology, almost like we might need a different path, not just more power.
Okay, so that's Pichai. Cautious, grounded in current tech limits. But then you hear almost the opposite, sometimes from within Google itself.
Oh, yeah. Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind, very different story.
What's his timeline look like?
Much, much faster. He's talking AGI potentially within, 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10, wow.
Yeah. And he says DeepMind is dead on track for it. His big worry isn't if it happens, but that society is alarmingly unprepared.
Unprepared how?
He talks about risks so severe they could, and this is a quote, permanently destroy humanity.
Okay, whoa. That's quite the contrast to Pichai's AI companion.
Stark contrast, yeah. And then you've got Sam Altman at OpenAI. His view is also really interesting and seems to be evolving.
How so? He was pretty bullish for a while, wasn't he?
He was, but now he's highlighting a massive bottleneck, data efficiency. It's a fascinating point.
Data efficiency? What does that mean practically?
He says they basically run out of high-quality human-generated data to train these huge models on.
Run out. Like the whole internet isn't enough.
Apparently not. For the leap they need, he estimates they need something like a 100,000-fold improvement in how efficiently AI learns from data.
100,000 times better.
Yeah.
That's not just tweaking things.
No, it's fundamental. It suggests just making models bigger or throwing more computers at them won't get us to AGI on its own. The learning itself needs a revolution.
Which sounds a lot like what some of the technical critics are saying, like Jan LeCun over at Meta.
Exactly. LeCun is famously skeptical about the current approach, especially large language models, LLMs.
What's his main beef with LLMs?
He says there's absolutely no way they'll achieve human-level AGI, just flat out.
Why not?
Because, he argues, they lack genuine reasoning. They don't understand the world. They're just very sophisticated pattern matchers.
Okay.
And they're sample inefficient. They need insane amounts of data compared to how, say, a child learns about the world.
So what's his solution? Just wait.
No, he thinks we need totally new architectures.
Yeah.
Things that learn from richer data, like video, to build what he calls world models, an internal understanding of how things actually work.
And he's not alone in feeling that way, right? The sources mentioned a survey.
Yeah, a significant chunk of AI experts, like 76%, believe just scaling up current methods is unlikely to get us to AGI. So LeCun's view has a lot of company in the research world.
So you've got the cautious camp, the imminent but dangerous camp, the technically skeptical need new ideas camp. Anyone else?
So you also have the pragmatists, like Satya Nadella at Microsoft.
What's his angle?
He seems less caught up in the whole AGI definition debate. He says he's less concerned about AGI benchmarks.
And more concerned with?
More focused on the real-world impact AI is having right now. Things like their co-pilot assistant, practical value today, rather than chasing a potentially distant AGI goal.
Okay, so it's a whole spectrum. And part of the problem seems to be nobody even agrees on what AGI is exactly.
That's a huge point in the sources, yeah. There's no universal definition. It means different things to academics versus industry folks.
Like that example of defining it by economic value. making money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Mustafa Suleiman's idea, an AI that can turn 100K into $1 million, is that AGI? It leads to this illusion of consensus, as one source put it. Everyone nods about AGI, but they might mean different things.
And that definition matters because the stakes are, well, potentially existential if you listen to Hassabis.
Right. DeepMind apparently has a whole safety plan working towards dealing with plausible AGI by 2030. They're taking the safety aspect very seriously.
And huge economic stakes, too, right? All this talk drives massive investment.
Massive. Think about the cost, like $700,000 a day just to run ChatGPT, according to one source.
Wow.
So analysts are starting to ask, can the eventual returns actually justify these astronomical costs? Is there maybe a bit of a tech bubble forming around the AGI hype?
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, listening? It's clearly not a simple picture.
Not at all. You've got caution about today's tech from people like Pichai. You've got urgency and these huge societal warnings from Hassabis.
Then the deep technical skepticism from LeCun and others saying the current path is maybe a dead end. And pragmatism from Nadella focusing on today's tools.
Pichai's point about AGI being tough with current tech feels pretty reasonable, right? If current tech means just bigger versions of what we have now.
Yeah, but the sources overall suggest it's not just about scaling. It's about overcoming these fundamental hurdles like data efficiency, like maybe needing whole new scientific insights.
It feels less like a predictable engineering project and more like, well, uncertain exploration. We don't just need better maps. We might need a totally different kind of ship.
Right. The journey towards AGI isn't some clear sprint. It's this shifting, uncertain landscape with disagreement right at the very top. So here's something to chew on. Given this fundamental uncertainty and disagreement among the very people building this stuff, uncertainty about the when, the how, even the what AGI truly is, how does that maybe change the way you think about and interact with the AI that's already part of your life today?